Hi, I'm Daniel Paul. I'm here with Catherine Hall, the Chief Executive of Alzheimer's New Zealand. We're talking about the Dementia Action Plan, and this is the third in our series of videos about the plan. In this one, Catherine, can we talk a little bit about the issues that the plan is designed to address? You say the support services for people with dementia are woefully inadequate, I think is the phrase you use. Talk to us a little bit more about what's happening out there in the community and why this plan is so important in terms of fixing those issues.
Yes, of course. So I think we all know that the numbers of people living with dementia are increasing. That's because our population is ageing, and while dementia can happen at any age, it is most common as people get older, and it gets more common as you get older. So at the moment there's around 70,000 people living with dementia, and that number's set to almost triple in just the next 30 years. And of course that's just the tip of the iceberg, because for most of those people there are family who are also affected by the diagnosis. And what that means is that dementia is very expensive for the health system and for the country. So at the moment we estimate that dementia, the all-up cost of dementia to New Zealand is about $1.7 billion a year, and that number is set to rocket to around $5 billion a year by 2050, so in that same 30-year period. Now, we don't think that's sustainable. We think anything we do that can make that $5 billion figure a bit smaller as a country is worth doing, particularly if it would improve the quality of life of people who are living with dementia.
You talk about the quality of life. I mean, let's leave aside the economics for the moment. You talk about the quality of life. Talk us a little bit through that. I mean, when you get a diagnosis, what actually happens? How are you affected?
Yes, well, look, I mean, I think that the thing for people with dementia, and actually the COVID situation has been quite interesting, because when you talk to people living with dementia about what it's been like with COVID, they say, well, it's actually not been that different from how it is normally. You know, our life is about reduced social interaction, because when you get a diagnosis of dementia, people withdraw or treat you differently. You have less opportunities to engage, to socialise, to participate in a meaningful way. The other thing that's true for people with dementia is there just are not enough of the right kind of services. That's true anyway. It got worse during COVID, but it's true anyway. And we know that there are gaps in services across the country, which means that services are available, that not everyone has equitable access even to the services that exist. So there are communities, Maori, Pacific, people living alone, people in rural communities, LGBTI community, mental health community, who are just not getting the services that they need. And those gaps have been supported by the Ministry of Health's own stocktake of dementia services, which they've completed recently.
Thanks, Catherine. Appreciate your time. Please keep an eye out for the next in our series of videos about the Dementia Action Plan.